Every week, every new week brings people in Russia crazy news, literally. But there's one thing that is even crazier than crazy news, Russian crazy news. It is the fact that the Russians don't consider the crazy news crazy any longer. To them, hearing crazy news every day has become normal. And that's what's really crazy. Howdy, everyone. My name is Konstantin. Welcome to Inside Russia. This is where you find usual Russia explained by the unusual Russian. You will find truth, common sense, and logic here, and some emotions because I'm a human being. And you will not find BS, propaganda, and lies on Inside Russia. Today is Friday, and I invite everyone into the Russia's Crazy News Update Edition. You see, crazy news come out every single day, and I pick the best for the previous week, and I present them to you. So, without further ado, let's jump right into the crazy news. Right from the start of today's stream, I'll give you a portion of the freshest crazy news, the best of the best, so to speak, the freshest of the freshest news from the lunatics. Oh, I'm sorry, did I say no, not lunatics, oops. I meant from this crazy news coming from very respectful Russian politicians. The freshest pick. All the news are from today. Vyacheslav Volodin, who is the Speaker of the lower chamber of Russian Parliament, stated today that Russia, listen to this, it's a good one, Russia has become Europe's largest economy. What so great happened in Russia in the last week that it has become Europe's largest economy? Economic breakthrough? I don't know. Someone lent, Russia borrowed money from someone. Perhaps the international sanctions lifted and Russia started selling gas and oil again. No, nothing of that. I think a clarification is needed. The propaganda has left something out of that distinguished gentleman's speech today. They censored him. Yeah, they must have. His quote should have read this: Russia has become Europe's largest economy from the bottom. I guess Russian censorship has reached the highest levels of Russian politicians. Another news comes from Sergei Kravtsov, who is the Minister of Education of Russia. I quote Mr. Kravtsov: Russia has joined the top countries for the quality of education. Dude, you have just rewritten all your history books and made your history a fake. The entire world is laughing at you for making that. What quality of education? Are you smoking or are you drinking? And one of Russian propaganda Telegram channels stated today that, let me quote, Russian ruble is stable regarding US dollar and Chinese yen. Russian ruble has just had the second worst time evaluation fall in its history. It was trading at 103 rubles per American dollar not too long ago, about a week and a half ago. This is what those propaganda folks calling stability of Russian currency. It's really scary because it's scary to even think what happens when ruble loses stability and becomes unstable. You know what? I actually can't wait. I have my popcorn right here, and I'm waiting for Russian ruble to lose stability. That's going to be quite a show. And we are moving on. And now I'm calling to inside Russia's stage the biggest, the funniest, the most entertaining, the merciful, the forgiving, the kind, the loving, the caring, the honest. His Excellency, the Almighty, have you guessed who? Yes, Vladimir Putin. Hey, Putin is a big newsmaker today. At the recent BRICS summit that just finished, Vladimir Putin said that de-dollarization of of the world was gaining momentum in the whole world and had already become irreversible. In other words, he stated that more and more countries, more and more companies, more and more people have been giving up American dollar. American dollar. You are done. Чума на тебя. But, it's bad news for America, really. But then I decided to make a tiny little bit of fact-checking, and this is where it turned out. In July of 2023, 46% of all monetary transactions in the world were made using American dollar. In 10 years, this indicator will grow more than by 10%. Well, it's okay. In Russia, we'll have to wait a little longer, and the US economy will collapse under its own weight. Because you know why? Vladimir Putin knows, and Vladimir Putin cannot lie. And us, we are moving on to the next news. And the newsmaker Putin remains on this stage. More news coming from Mr. P. More newsmaking. More. Russia has made its list of top 5 largest economies in the world, overtaking Germany. That's what Putin said today. Well done, Russia. Well done, Russians. Very well done. You must be, Russian people, you must be living better life than the Germans. High living standard. Thanks to His Excellency Vladimir Putin. The entire world is admiring the state of Russian economy now. But wait a second. What about those people living in poverty? Over 30 million Russians? Right there. Where? It's over here, in front of you, right here. I don't see anyone. How? Right here. Give me your hand. You can touch them. You can feel. You can smell them. They don't have water to shower. Traitor! Police! Take him away for 15 years at least. He's just spreading fakes about the Russian army. And we are moving on to the next news. The following news just came from Russia's parliament, the State Duma. Country's expenses for patriotic education in Russia in 2022 amounted to 11.4 billion rubles. Initially, for that year, they were only planned for 5 billion rubles for this patriotic education. Of course, makes perfect sense now. Russian patriotic education is not cheap, and that what has made Russian education system one of the top 5 in the world, among the top best. Remember, the Russian Minister of Education said that Russia is doing very well in terms of a standard of education. This is it. Of course, it's due to patriotic education. Please forgive me, Kravtsov. I didn't know what you were talking about 5 minutes ago. Now I know. You're totally right. The best patriotic education in the world. Forget hospitals, forget schools, forget universities. That's not important these days. Russia only needs 2 kinds of people. Armed soldiers to go and kill Ukrainians and patriots. So it makes sense to spend tiny bit more for patriotic education. Just a mosquito bite, not a big deal, a meager 7 billion rubles more than planned. No more, no less. And we are moving on to the next news. And the next news is the likes. If you like the crazy news updates from Konstantin on Inside Russia, folks, please hit the like button. That would be nice. Thank you. That would help spread crazy news even more and make them crazier. And we are moving on to another real news. The previous one about the likes was kind of a trick. Sorry. I couldn't resist. I love the next news. It's about the future. I'm an economist. I love everything economy. I loved studying economics at school. I studied economics in 2 countries, in 2 universities, in Russia and in the United States of America. And then I returned to Moscow and I studied some more. So I like it. And I like reading the materials that come from Russia's Ministry of Finance, Russian Ministry of Industry and Trade, Economic Development. I actually visited those ministries. I've been there. I know how they work, I know what they do. And today, Russia's Ministry of Industry and Trade has come out with a new development strategy. What's good? I like strategy. I mean, I've been doing business development all my life. I know a thing or two about strategy, So what the strategy is about? It's very viable. It's very respectful. That's good. So you see, the strategy is that Russian-made electronic products should have at least 75% market share by 2035. So in other words, out of all gadget, electronics products, computers, semiconductor, everything electronics, at least 75% must be produced, manufactured in Russia by 2035, which is, 12 years from now. Before the target is reached in 2035, there are actually 2 milestones set on the strategy. The first, in 2024, the market share must be at least 27% of all electronic goods sold in Russia must be made and manufactured in Russia. 27%. And in 2030, next year, 27%, and 2030, which is in 7 years, at least 70% of all products sold in Russia, electronic products, must be manufactured in Russia. It is a very interesting and ambitious strategy, considering now, in late 2023, it's almost September, so I'd say like 3.5 months left in the year. The market of Russian-made electronics, the market share is 0. Perhaps even in the negatives, but those just the rumors. So we can take them with a grain of salt, but we still can take them. And the next year, for 2024, the next year, at least 27% must be manufactured in Russia. From 0 to hero. Ambitious, courageous, bold. Well, perhaps in the strategy they explain how they will reach this goal. Perhaps, they will create the instruments to drive the industry up, such as they will lower taxes for the new companies, they will introduce government support subsidy programs, perhaps they will bring in Western corporations with their technological know-hows, those whose factories have been stolen recently and they've been kicked out of Russia. Perhaps they'll bring those back somehow. Things like that. There are mechanisms, instruments, tools in the strategy. I mean, that's what the strategies are about, right? It must be all written down there, step by step, right? Wrong. Russia's Ministry of Industry and Trade newest development strategy doesn't have that. No. It doesn't have anything. It has just the numbers, the milestones, the goals. In 2024, at least 27% market share. In 2030, at least 70%. And in 2035, at least 74%. Whew. You know, that is the most sophisticated strategy, development strategy I have ever seen in my life. I wonder how many many millions of man-hours were spent to come up with that brilliant strategy. That's just interesting. I actually have come up with something of a bit of a strategy myself. I'm a strategist myself. I have this idea, but just don't tell anyone, you know, but I have this idea for the KGB. They can come up with the newest development strategy for the years of 24 and 2030. If local producers will not achieve 27% next year and 30%, you know, and 70% in 2030, we'll make them. Oh, there are no producers at all in Russia? That's nothing is produced? Zero, perhaps in the negatives? No problem. We'll come up with something. Your friendly neighborhood KGB station is always at work. And us, we moving on to the next news. Hopefully a good one. What's promising? You know, promising coming from Russian company called Yandex. Now, Yandex, you must have all heard of Yandex in one way or another. It's a Russian equivalent of Google. Yandex is a search engine and it has tons of good services, including one of those services is Yandex Taxi. Just a little remind off topic. Yandex Taxi is now obliged to share all the information about the riders, the trips, you know, the amounts paid and so forth with the KGB at their request. So, but that's Yandex for you. So Yandex Taxi, the taxi cab marketplace, just received a small batch of 12 Iranians sedans called Iran Khodor Tara cars, you know, for an experimental trial. Russian taxi marketplace has taken these 12 sedans into the trial operation and it'll be testing them. Promising. It's really promising. It's real friendship and cooperation between the two countries, Russia and Iran. International trade growing, you know. First, we started ordering kamikaze attack drones called Shaheeds. We liked it. We liked them, you know. They turned out to be okay. So now we'll be ordering cars. Just have to make sure that the cars will come with wheels made out of steel, not of wood. And we are coming into the next news. A small one. A little disturbing. Now, how do I present this news to you? A news just came out from Russian government. One of the agencies, one of the branches of the Russian government, it's so-called the pension fund. It's actually the branch of the government that takes care of the pensions of the retired Russians, retired ones. No, this news is not about the shortage of money, but actually it's about the shortage of the retirees. The number of retirees in Russia has sharply decreased. For the 6 months, the number has decreased by 404,000 people, according to the fund's data. As of January 1st, 2023, they were 41.78 million citizens, retired citizens, and as of July 1st of 2023, It's just 41,380,000, 4138. This is the minimum for the entire period of the pension reform after the fall of the USSR. So the number of retired people has sharply decreased fast. And I have a question, and please enlighten me. And this question is probably for the Russian government. What is the goal of Russian pension fund? Is it to provide Russian retirees with good life, decent money in exchange for their lifetimes of work, or reach a record minimum of retirees so the government would spend less paying off pensions? What is the real goal here? It'd be nice to find out. And we are moving to the next news. And this is actually bittersweet. I thought at first it was funny, but then it's really sad. It's really sad. Can't even say it's bittersweet. It's the wrong word. It's bitter. It's sad. This news came from Donetsk People's Republic, or Donetsk province of Russia, whatever it's called now. Okay, that's one of the territories that Russia basically stole from Ukraine and now is calling its own. Denis Pushilin, the head of this so-called territory, breakaway, self-proclaimed Donetsk People's Republic, whatever it's called now, he just announced plans to create an equivalent of Silicon Valley in Donetsk. To create an equivalent of Silicon Valley, American Silicon Valley in Donetsk. The construction of an IT park with infrastructure for life of many Russians is planned on the coast of the Sea of Azov, not too far from the city of Donetsk. Pushilin expects that not only residents of this province or whatever will work there, but also a significant number of IT specialists from other regions of Russia will come and live and work there. What? What? You came in and you destroyed this once flourishing, successful, beautiful Ukrainian province. I've been there many times. I was there before, Russia took over. It was arguably Ukrainians' best, but definitely, somewhere along with Kiev, Lviv, and cities like that. So you came in, and now, 89 years later, it's in ruins. You've made it the death zone, and now you want to build a Silicon Valley there. You want to attract Russians from other Russian regions. Is it you just want to steal money that will be allocated to you from the Russian budget? Or you want to make sure that many Russians will come to live there and you will use them as a human shield? Yeah, now I understand, it's not the crazy news, it's the crazy people. Let's move on. Prices for cars imported to Russia from Japan jumped by 13% in August alone, and August is not over, according to Igor Aleynikov, leading industry expert. And he believes that the prices will continue to rise, to increase. It's actually not crazy news, It's normal, forecasted, and expected. Strange. You don't run into this kind of news, normal news, in Russia anymore. It's mostly crazy news, but it's good to have normal news once in a while for a change. And we are moving on again to another news. Russian citizens who live abroad, will not be able to vote in the upcoming elections electronically. According to the head of Russian Voting Commission, Ella Pamfilova, this is done due to protection from external interference, foreign interference, really. Let me remind you, Ella Pamfilova called us, who left Russia last September, October, and who has left Russia, who left Russia in the last year and a half. She called us publicly on Twitter, the rats leaving the ship. I will not forget that. She called me that, among other people. And now she, along with the other criminals in charge, they're stripping us our right to vote because they know who we are going to vote exactly against. And they are very afraid of that. There are so many of us living, they just don't want us to vote, period. And a lot of Russian politicians have said many times that, oh, look, those who left, more than half of them, the majority, 60, 70% already returned, and only tiny number remains outside Russia, residing outside Russia. Well, if it's true, why they're so worried about us voting the wrong way? So they're stripping us of our constitutional right to vote. I think the answer is very obvious. And we are moving on to the next news. Actually, to the next sip of the English tea. It's good. English breakfast at Uzbekistan midnight. The next news is about space. The Indian moon landing mission Chandrayaan-3 cost $75 million. And the mission was a success. Congratulations, my Indian friends. The Indian transport landed on the moon's surface, and it is a success. So, as you all know, a couple weeks ago, Russia sent its own moon mission to space, to the moon, with the intention to land and have all this fantastic, fabulous moon program that would last for a year. The cost of Russian moon landing mission, Luna 25, has been kept in the secret. Yeah, well, what else do you expect from the Russian government? But it is estimated by different experts, industry experts, that it has cost at least 3 times more the price of the Indian mission, Chandrayaan-3. So the Russian mission, I think it's safe to say that it cost around $215 million of US dollars. And the mission was a failure. It hard landed on the moon's surface. Somehow the force of gravity interfered, didn't let Russian mission to land correctly. So it landed harshly. In normal language, it's called crashed, collided. In Russia, they said that was a hard landing. Okay. This proves to me once more that the Indians can send things that they make to the moon and land them safely and do whatever they intend to do. But the Russians are the masters of stealing money from the federal budget. And that's it. And we are moving on to the next news. Are you ready for the craziest news yet? The Orwellian type of news. Yevgeny Prigozhin's plane with his owner on board was shot down and, crashed, hard landed 2 days ago. But that's not news anymore. I made 2 streams and it's been all over the news. So this not news. Private military company Wagner, Yevgeny Prigozhin's baby, so to speak, and his private army, right after the death of Yevgeny Prigozhin, started being disbanded. The camp in Belarus started being disassembled, and fighters, the combatants, participants of ЧВК Wagner started being moved someplace, we don't know where. But also, that is not news anymore, because it started happening 2 days, and it's been basically the talk of the town, the talk of the propaganda, and the talk of normal independent channels who are abroad outside Russia. And even Vladimir Putin mentioned, sent his condolences to the family of Yevgeny Prigozhin. Can you imagine the guts this guy has? Well, so it's not news. But listen to this. News is happening right now near the city of Yekaterinburg. There is a cemetery where Wagner combatants killed in action in Ukraine were buried. A large cemetery. Some Russian activists, they actually counted how many people from Wagner were killed by just going to that cemetery and counting the graves, okay? And the graves are all fresh. The people have been buried in the last 6-7 months or so, So they still have flowers on the graves, fresh flowers, so to speak. So today, the authorities, it's not clear what kind of authorities, but obviously it's part of Russian government. The authorities came in onto the cemetery and silently started rolling the fresh graves into asphalt. I kid you not. There are pictures of it. There are videos. People just go in there and film. Basically, what they started doing is they have started erasing the very memory of those people who existed in the past and were killed and were buried as a part of ЧВК Wagner. You see how Putin works? He gets very scared in the process. We all remember how he kept silent for almost 24 hours, and then he came out and he was scared in front of everyone, asking Russians for help to back him up. He was humiliated. He was standing small, weak, with shaking knees. But after all is done, he started avenging. He started avenging the alive ones. He killed Prigozhin. He killed the top generals. Well, not personally, but we all know what he did. Now, disbanded ЧВК Wagner, and now he even starts avenging the dead ones. I have no sympathy to those war criminals. I've said so many hundreds of times that ЧВК Wagner was nothing but a bunch of criminals, murderers, thieves, rapists, child molesters, even cannibals, okay? The lowest scum of earth. That's what ЧВК Wagner was. And again, I have no sympathy for them. But what Putin is doing is basically straight out of George Orwell books. It's Orwell stuff in purest form. ЧВК Wagner mutiny happened 2 months ago. Now, in June. Now, in August, no Prigozhin, no Wagner, no mutiny, no corpses. There was nothing. But we saw that. You saw nothing. I can tell only one thing. This karma law, some say it's a boomerang law. What comes around, goes around. And I am absolutely pretty sure that the very same thing that Vladimir Putin, or same things that Vladimir Putin is doing to others, will come and hunt him sooner or later. And I think sooner. And this, my friends, has been all the crazy news for today. Thank you so much for coming, giving me a chance. It's an honor to have you here. I would love you to carry on to the live stream chat, which I'm going to turn on right now, and discuss what things you find interesting with you, answer your questions, and just converse. Hearing nice words would be nice, encouraging words. If you'd like to buy me a coffee, I wouldn't mind at all. I'd appreciate it. And while I am turning the live stream chat on, I'd love to ask you a favor. Would you please consider helping me to spread my message? If you make reposts in your social media accounts, that actually helps very much. Algorithm likes that, YouTube algorithm. So I would appreciate that too. Thank you. And now I am turning the live stream chat on. Boom. This is hands down the most favorite moment of every stream. Just pressing a button and seeing this stream explodes with people who come back every day after day, the usual suspects and the mods. By the way, if you're new here, please know that we have the best mod team in the world. Lorna, Mami K, Amir, Bob S, and Harry Potnan are the best of the best. Thank you for coming, mods, and the usual suspects. Fantastic to see you all too. If you want, as usual, if you want me to read your comment, answer your question, please put it in caps and put Inside Russia after @ highlighted. So I see your question or comment highlighted in orange, a large orange box. And, you know, I usually answer those. Thank you so much. Just like Pinda the Peanut did, she says, good to have you seen on Silicon Curtain. Yes, right after the stream yesterday, I did not go to sleep, although it was 1 a.m., but I tuned into Zoom to have a call with Jonathan, and we did the interview, and we talked about Russian economy and other things. So go ahead and check it out. Silicon Curtain, the latest video, was pretty interesting. I always like going on Silicon Curtain and doing interviews with Jonathan. I find him a fascinating person, and he has a good channel. Baker Stock, howdy. Linda made it through the whole crazy news without being disturbed. Well, if you noticed, I didn't go overboard today. I did not make it too long, you know. Faith Russard, howdy from Spain. I'm sending my love to Spain from Uzbekistan, from Tashkent. And Macfon from Switzerland, thank you so much. I read that the military is now to requisition private vehicles from its soldiers for the front. Where did you read it? Because Russian law states that if there's a war emergency, war declared on another country, that there's a set of war laws is enacted. And one of those laws is that the military can come and seize your truck. But they don't just seize it, they take it away and they give you a paper saying that, you know, they took your truck away. And then there's a chance they'll bring it back to you 3 months later. You know, they don't say anything about the technical shape of the vehicle, but you have a chance of receiving it. Or you can go, after the war ends, you can go to the government and with this paper saying, I require another truck, and they might give you a Niva, or you know, you give them a Mercedes or Lexus, they give you back Niva or Zaporozhets or something like that, you know. But as far as I know, it's not happening in Russia now, although it's possible. Bob S., howdy. Radio TV History, hi from Switzerland. Hello, I like your name. Sam K., howdy. Thank you so much for coming. Linda. Henrik Jensen, thank you so much. Sherry, hello. Guy L, great to see you. Maria, howdy, howdy. The Kerm, A.L. Valley. Margot Kornas from Estonia. Every time I see a person from the Baltic states, warms my heart. Thank you for coming. It's an honor to have you here. Thank you. Julie W, hello, friend. So Russia wants to copy Silicon Valley. I thought we were all evil Satanists here in the States. Yes, you are. Satanic, evil, no good Satanists, whatever. But, when it comes to watching your movies, that's fine. When it comes to watching NBA games, that's fine. Watching hockey from NHL, that's fine. When it comes to driving Chevys or Cadillacs, give us those. We don't mind that they're made by the satanic Americans, We love them. So, you see, that's how it works. Dmitry Medvedev style, Einar, I liked Jens Stoltenberg's comments to a Norwegian newspaper yesterday. NATO has an open door policy. Russia has no. Pure gold. I gotta remember it. Hang on. I love it. NATO has an open door policy. Russia has an open window policy. It's good stuff. Instant classic. Veronica, howdy. Dirk, hello, friend. Exploring with Ozinus. Wow, long time no see. I hope you're well, friends. Great southern land. You would think aiming for 75 flushing toilets would be a higher priority than locally produced electronics. And you know what? Great southern land, I doubt even if they aim for 75% of flushing toilets in Russia, even by the age 2050, I doubt they will do that. Well, like I said, ambitious, interesting, bold. That's what the strategy is. And very sophisticated. Euros, howdy, howdy, and thank you so much for coming and supporting. I weep for Russian pensioners. In developed countries, they cared for and protected by law, and they have significant political power. In Putin's Russia, all that be is an unneeded expense. And you're absolutely spot on. I weep for them too. I know very well what's going on with them because my mom is 74 and her pension is, I think, 11,000 rubles. So now it used to be $140 or 130. Now it's 110. Okay, and if it wasn't for the support she's getting from me, I don't know. It's barely enough to cover her utility bills. But then she needs to eat, I weep for them too. Reynard, a friend wanted to buy a new Mercedes in Germany, not available, got a second-hand model. Why not available? Please explain. Perhaps he went to Bavaria, they don't sell Mercedes there, they sell BMWs. Perhaps that's why. That was a joke, by the way. Stefan from Sweden. Thank you so much. Thanks again, Konstantin. Thank you, Stefan, or Stefan. I'm not sure how it's right. Usual blessing to you and your family. Money is very welcome and much appreciated. Money is a very strong feedback I receive. When someone sends money, it shows that they like what I do, what I say, what I prepare, what I present so much they are ready to share some money with me. That's huge. But the words are priceless, because the words that actually make me grow the wings behind my back and kind of like uplift myself, and that's the blessing and the energy that keeps me going. Thank you. Thank you so much. Sending my love to Sweden and to you. Thank you. MacFun, does Russia now also have its own Linux distribution like China? Red flag. Not an expert in that. I'm very far from IT industry. I know that there are in big troubles. Big software companies have pulled out of Russia. Like Microsoft does not update anymore anything, and you cannot buy Windows there legally. And of course, the hackers break the software. They are doing something with Linux, I know for sure, but I cannot pinpoint what it is. I just don't know. Not an expert in that. Jesus, USSB, Slava Ukraini, US Army Veterans for Ukraine, Ola from Los Angeles. Sending my love to Los Angeles and to you and to Ukraine from Uzbekistan, from Tashkent. Thank you for your support in the words. Bagheera, thank you so much. You are amazing. Thank you. Much appreciated and very welcome. Thank you. Wolfhound 26X. So your mom can eat today. Thank you. She eats well. You trust me on that. And she eats well. She's got a nice house. You know, if she could drive, she would have a car. But they did have a car when Dad was alive. They went on vacations regularly. They didn't have any problems eating, and she doesn't. I saw my mom recently, about 10 days ago. We spent a couple weeks together in Turkey. She's well. She's in good health and good spirits. She's attending a wedding of one of her relatives in Rostov tomorrow, which is going to be a big day for her. That's why she came back to Rostov. She didn't stay with us in Tashkent this time. So, Wolfhound, thank you so very much. I appreciate it. My mom watches the stream, so I'll tell you that this was specifically for her. Thank you. James Varela, could moon mission have been botched by need to be first and was born premature like Tupolev Tu-144? You mean not to be the first, but to beat the Indians to the moon? I don't know. Well, I did the entire stream about this moon mission. I don't think they intended to land on moon. They just needed something to show, oh, we're still on the space map. Oh, we still can launch missions. We're still in business, you know. I think that was the biggest intention, and no one intended to actually mission to be successful. It was an old mission. They were going to send this mission to the moon back in 1997, abandoned it. They found, along with the European Space Agency, this not so important. The project had been unfinished. So the whole idea was not serious. You cannot prepare a moon mission in a matter of months, okay? That's a huge work of tons of industries in the country to do that. We saw it before in the USSR, you know. It was completely different from what it is now. Jackie O, thank you so very much. I appreciate it very much. Michael Silberg, welcome back. Thank you for being sponsor and thanks for messages and the questions. Maybe Putin's message with the latest purge is, if I will be going away, it's down with the ship, and I intend that not one person will be spared. Ah, this could be. This could be. Yes. I don't call it the crazy news for no good reason. This, what you said, could be crazy news, but again, crazy news in Russia is new normal. That's good stuff. As usual, I'm drinking Twinings English breakfast at midnight in Tashkent, and it actually is pretty darn good. I'd like to thank all English people for your tea. Although it's produced, grown in India and China, I think yours mostly comes from India and Sri Lanka. This stuff is just pure gold. If I buy it from an Indian company or directly from like a Sri Lankan company, it's not the same. It doesn't taste the same. If I buy it from an English company, boom, it's the best. The only tea that came close to Twinings and Taylor's at Harrogate was Mlesna. And I think it's a Sri Lankan company, this company from Ceylon. So, again, thank you so much. It's good stuff. I'm totally addicted to English tea. Lorraine Proznovsky, thank you so very much. Thank you. Appreciate you being a member of the community and coming back, and thanks for the support. Leo, will the ruble keep falling even further? Yes, it will. Mark down my words. Ruble will be devaluing further and further. I will make a video or a stream in the upcoming week. What is wrong with me today? I keep on speaking weirdly. I've been speaking a lot. So I gave an interview today, and then technically today, anyway. So I've been speaking a lot. So mark down my words. Ruble will be slipping down, devaluing. My bet is then next year it'll hit the mark of 200 rubles per American dollar. The Highwayman, hello Slovenia. Howdy, howdy, great to see you. Exploring with Azunos, love these topics today. Nice to hear about multiple things with so much going on. Every Friday, come up with these things, so please come back in other days as well, but definitely on Fridays. G-Jaw, I have apologized for my tongue here, but he reminds me of my uncle. Thanks for what you do. I like listening to. Thank you so much. That apologizing went by me, past me. I didn't see what you apologized for, and I didn't see you apologizing, so sorry. Mia, thank you so much for your support. No message, but this message is pretty strong. Mar from California, howdy, howdy. California knows how to party. If I ever come across, I will bring a box of tea for you since you love it so much. Marian, thank you so much. Sidizora from Poland, welcome and fantastic to see you. Again, I will keep on saying it every single time I see someone from the Baltics, from Poland, from Czech, from Slovakia, Bulgaria, from the Eastern Bloc countries, former Eastern Bloc. Thank you for coming. Thank you for honoring me here. It's an honor to have you here. Thank you so much. Nor I. In fact, I drive a Niva and don't laugh because it's my dream car. Hey, you know what? I'm not laughing. Niva is actually a very good car for off-roading, one of the best. It's very simple, it's very basic, and people are in love. Well, I know quite a few people are in love with Nivas, including foreigners. So that was not my point. My point was this: you drive a Mercedes, they take away it from you, and then you come back, year later, 3 years later, and you give the paperwork, and they give you Niva back instead of a Mercedes. That's what my point was. But hey, no disrespect to Niva. It's actually one of the better cars that the USSR produced. The only problem with Niva is it's in the same kind of production car that it was 40 years ago. Chirper G, I saw that Peskov has spoken again at last. I have not seen that. Well, I predicted that two scenarios were possible. First scenario, he disappears, people forget about him, and, well, the propaganda doesn't talk about him. And the second scenario, he comes back like nothing happened. And people would ask him, hey, where were you for 4 weeks, for a month? And he'll be just looking at them and it's like, I was around, I wasn't missing. And again, everyone would go on as if nothing happened. So I'm wondering, well, if you say that he has spoken again, that means that he's back. So I'll investigate. Graham Wilson, thank you so much. Loving your messages as usual. Appreciate it. Appreciate it very much. Thank you. Hope you and family are well, and your mom also. All are well. Thank you very much. Here's a little something for more English tea, my friend. That definitely buys English breakfast. Thank you. Cheers to you. Much love from England. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Caesars, nice interview on Silicon Curtain, Konstantin. For how long do you think the Bank of Russia will be able to protect ruble? Done and done. What they have left is to further increase the interest rate, and they will not do that. They will not do that because it's 12% now. The mortgages are at 16 to 17%. It means that kaput for real estate market. It means kaput for bank loans for corporations to get money for operational expenses and so forth. The Titanic is down. It's submerged. Okay, they will not be maintaining this visually pleasing stability for the government. They just cannot do that anymore. So my bet, we will see a big increase in consumer prices in September, and it's already started. Look at the prices of gasoline in Russia. Every day it breaks the record, and people start saying, hey, what the hell is going on? Well, good morning. I'm glad you have finally woken up. Okay, this is what's going on. Your Titanic is going down. This is what's going on. And we start seeing the effects already. They're happening in Russia. But they're going to be happening with increased velocity very soon. So mark my words. I'm saying it for the second time during the stream. Mark my words. Let's come back to that in the beginning of October, at the end of September. We'll see what happens. Ray does it. Welcome to Deep Inside Russia. That's a high tier. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. By the way, folks, all sponsors and patrons out there, tomorrow, Saturday, 26th of August, I will be doing a live stream at the usual time, 9 p.m. Tashkent, which is going to be morning in America and late afternoon in Europe, and that's going to be for patrons and for sponsors. Personal details, fewer people, and my family will be in the stream. as well. So please come back. It's going to be very personal, very touching. And this is my way of thanking you for supporting me through Patreon and through here, through YouTube, the sponsorship program. Thank you so very much. Tomorrow is my favorite stream, says Amir. Thank you. Thank you. Well, mine too. What is the hard thing at the bottom of the chat? I'm not sure I understand. Lennart B. from Sweden. Howdy, howdy. What will Russians do when support systems are switched off for Audi, BMW, and Mercedes cars across Russia? Hey, Matt W., it has been done. It has already happened. They switched all the support systems off. You cannot get updates. Some software doesn't work in the cars. They cannot change certain systems inside the cars because they're all connected through internet to, I don't know, the servers or whatever. What they're doing, well, they're trying to cut the corners, so to speak. But it's bad. It's really bad. It's literally the fresh news. The whole Trinity, Audi, BMW, and Mercedes, and also I think Porsche joined them. They announced within the last month that they were switching off all their support systems, upgrade systems, update systems, and so forth. Well, that's, you know what? What are they going to do now? Well, you know what? They're going to wake up because they start feeling the pain. They start feeling the results of what they did to Ukraine in February of last year. No more, no less, okay? I said that economically Russia has been destroyed, and it's only a matter of time when this destruction will catch up, and it's catching up now, and they start feeling the pinch. What they're gonna do? They better get that better. Would bet getter. That would that better get up and do something there. Amir, thank you for the sponsorship. Thank you, friend. Thank you. Так. Ann Larson, thank you. Guy L. Solovyov, what about them? Solovyov was really pissed at Medvedev. Okay. I gotta watch that. I wonder what his arguments were. Like, doesn't he understand why Mercedes has switched it off? RW, thank you so much. Thank you. In my career, I examined Russian military equipment, impressive engineering, but the materials used were 30 years out of date. If Russia learns market capitalism, they will achieve anything. I hope they learn peaceful coexistence first. Look, your words are gold. Thank you so much. You're absolutely right. And now, imagine that. If you examined these things in the past, and you saw that in the past the materials had been 30 years outdated, imagine now. Still same equipment, only brand new. Still same materials, now probably 50 or 60 years outdated, okay? And you're absolutely right. Russians need to find peace within themselves. They need to learn peaceful coexistence first. They need to learn morals, values, Thank you for the huge support. Thank you. Vasco, thank you so much. Mr. Vasco. I appreciate it. Much appreciated and very welcomed. Thank you. Friends, looks like we don't have any birthdays today. Reinhardt, Hindustan Motors Ambassador, purely mechanical, no electronics, solid like a tank. Okie dokie. Sam K, what's wrong with Constantine? One of those days, Friday. Crazy news update. Cope Top, thank you for the update. Interesting. Whew. Friends, I would like everyone to finish the stream with a prayer as usual. I invite everyone who's religious to pray with me, and everyone who's non-religious also invite to pray with me, because to me it doesn't matter. I find everyone who has heart, who is alive, has a heart beating, and if you have heart beating, then you have love inside your heart. I have not seen one person without love, okay? And if you have love, then this is God. Because to me, God is love, and therefore God is in the heart of each one of us. Whether you believe it, you don't, it doesn't matter. If you don't believe in God, He still believes in you. So let's, please join me. Let's pray. And if you don't like to call it prayer, call it, sending good vibes, good positive energy, good wishes to people. That works. Let's do it. Thank you so much, folks. Thank you. Dear Lord Jesus Christ, thank you so much for giving us this day. Thank you for putting food on our tables and giving us roofs over our heads. Thank you for surrounding us with people who we love and who love us. Please give us wisdom to keep the skies above our children's heads peaceful. Give us wisdom to raise our children the way that they become good people and make this world a better place. They will do a better job running this world than we have done. For now, please keep our children safe and healthy. If someone's child is not feeling well, please send recovery. Dear Lord, please help stop the bloodshed in Ukraine. Reach out and touch the hearts of people who are responsible and capable of making the decision to stop the bloodshed. Please open their eyes in the way you find suitable, so they wake up and find out what tragedy happened, and they will make the decision to stop the bloodshed. Please help every single Ukrainian answer their prayers and make their wishes come true. Please protect every single Ukrainian, send them angels, so the angels will keep them, people, out of harm's way. Please help my country. Assemble your strongest angels with sharpest swords into shining heavenly army led by Saint Michael, and send it like an avalanche down to this earth to get rid of the demons who have hijacked my country. Send those demons to where they belong, to hell. Have angels run my country. Make them, help them make my country peaceful, loved, loving, respected, and respectful. Dear Lord, please help everyone who is traveling, send them safe travels. Help everyone who's seeking asylum, especially the families. Please help all single women, single moms who are bringing their kids, just them, and they're struggling, trying to make ends meet. Please help the Ukrainians who are suffering from the Russian strikes right now. Please help those who have lost their loved ones. Send them recovery and soothe their souls, please. Help those, bless those who are helping Ukrainians, opening their hearts, wallets, doors, and praying for them. Dear Lord, please give us peaceful skies above our heads, no matter who we are and where we live. That's one thing that all of us need. Thank you so much for allowing us to come together into this community. Thank you for allowing us to pray together. Please help everyone who's praying along with me right now, and or just watching us pray. Make everyone's prayer heard, and everyone's wish come true. Dear Lord, I have some people who need your help, and I would like to ask you to help them. Please send your help, your angels, and shine your light upon them. They are Jason Connor, who is going in for surgery soon. Please help him, send angels, and help the doctors, help their hands to perform a good surgery. Please help Janice Stevenson, Jay Spike, James Gentz, Heather, Susie Mailer, Vasilin Lubomirov, Natasha, Gloria Roberts and her brother, Eugene and Lindsay's daughter, Mac's family, Frank in Texas, Linda Trombley, Darla, White Lightning, George Ruberty, Dave Strains, Pam, Liz Dumbrell and her family, Ann Larson, her family and daughter Hannah, Amir's uncle Dickie, Wayne, Shirley and Debbie, Jen Allen, the Highwayman, David Porter, his family and everyone who's Chernovtsi, Ukraine, Lars, Susan Marshall, Teresa D, Alvin's sister, Joe Lee McMahon, Pamela J, Michael Yukon, Allison Dave Moyers, Mr. Dean Spooner, his church called our Savior Lutheran Church, EMS paramedic Liz, Karen, Lori Miles' husband, Yelena, Jake, Michael, Natasha, Oля, Dasha, Sky, Bonnie, Svetlana, Paul Beans, Richard Burris, Randolph, Grace Philosophy, and Terry Carter, Meta Spencer. Also, I'd like to ask you to help a little girl. Her name is Sarah. She's fighting for her life. She's gone through a few surgeries. Please help her, send her recovery. Please send her angels and help her family, answer their prayers, and give them strength. She really, really needs your help. Please help. And help all the children from Ukraine who have been affected by this terrible tragedy. Don't forget about them and send them your angels and your help. Thank you so much, dear Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. My friends, thank you for coming. Thank you for giving me a chance, for listening. It's been an honor, and this is one of my best, most favorite streams. And on Friday, definitely most favorite stream on Saturday, tomorrow coming up for sponsors and patrons. Thank you, the mods, for coming, helping me out, watching my back as usual. I will see the sponsors and patrons tomorrow, and I will see everyone on Sunday. Hopefully there will be a message about the oligarchs, if nothing more urgent comes up before then. And as usual, at the end of every stream, I ask you to say something along out loud with me, and I'm asking that again. Please repeat after me as loud as you can. Carthago delende est.